Hi everyone, and welcome to the behind the scenes of Follow Me. We uploaded Follow Me a few days ago, and it's been being received great, so I thought I would make a behind the scenes for you, more of an in-depth behind the scenes, going in every scene and talking about how it was made and stuff along the production process. So if you haven't seen the video first, this is gonna have spoilers in it, so might want to check out the animation before watching this. But other than that, let's watch this and see what we can talk about. This is actually the first thing we started on because everything at the beginning was just clips from the older song. One thing I can show off the bat is there's not really a sky here. It's just a flat picture, and the city's also in fragments because we couldn't have a huge city in here, or else it'd lag. But for the Fredbear's Family Diner, this was actually built in Minecraft by Zachary. And the rest of this external stuff, like these tarps and these lights and the text, were mostly just added in Blender. The only thing that was made in Minecraft was the actual blocks of the pizzeria. And at the start, we have the parents and all of these kids. They don't have names. We are just referring to them as Foxy Kid, Chica Kid, Bonnie Kid, and Freddy Kid. And for anyone who didn't notice, actually, each of their shirt colors match with the animatronic that they would possess later. So that's a cool little thing that Zachary added when he was making the skins. Then this is the boys' parents. I don't know if this came off clearly, but they're not all their kids. The only kid that belongs to these parents is Foxy. The rest of them are just kids who are coming with him for like an outing or something. And these cars in the parking lot were actually made by, ignore the green lights. I just shifted the hue on these cars and it's turned around so you won't see. But these cars, the model was actually made by Train Guy. A lot of you probably know who he is because he's worked with a lot of people in the Five Nights at Freddy's animation community. But he actually made these cars for us, and Achebe Animations rigged them, and they actually turned out super good. They all have the same license plate though. They all say car, so just ignore it, pretend it didn't happen. But yeah, let's take a look inside of the pizzeria. So when we were building this pizzeria in Minecraft, we actually based this off of a Chuck E. Cheese that we used to go to when we were kids. It had an entrance on the right side, and when you walk in, there's a person standing here who gives you a little stamp thing on your arm. And then right in front, there was a place where you could order food. And then the stage was over here with only one animatronic, because I've never actually been to a Chuck E. Cheese that had all four of them, but yeah. So, we added a few other things back here. This area wasn't shown much, so we actually didn't add a lot here. But we have an arcade machine, a claw machine, and another claw machine over here, which you can't really see inside because of the glass, but there's a little grabby arm right here with no toys in it, so I guess that's kind of a ripoff. So these tables were just reused from the Foxy song, actually. And oh yeah, these are all the kids sitting here are animators who do a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's Minecraft animations. There's Enchanted Mob right here. There's Isaacs from 3A Display. There's Achebe Animations, who I don't think he's actually posted a Five Nights at Freddy's music video yet, but he's working on one, I believe. Then we have Mangarang over here, we have Andy BTTF, and we have Train Guy. The only two missing are Zemination and Zemination Mike, me, because... oh, there's even two missing chairs. I wonder where they went. They were his first victims. They were Purple Guy's first victims. And let's take a look at the actual animatronics up here. So, Zachary made these two. They were, what do you call them? The golden animatronics from Fredbear's. There's Fredbear and Golden Bonnie. I think that's the name. I was thinking Spring Bonnie, but that's probably something different. So I think Freddy is actually the same model that we used in the Foxy song for Toy Freddy, who I know we forgot the red cheeks on Toy Freddy, and I forgot to fix it again for this video. But let's just say it's Toy Freddy anyways. For Bonnie, it was actually changed though, because I noticed this jaw is different than the one that was in the Foxy song. And the skins were made by Zachary and edited by Train Guy, I think. And yeah, We just had them up here doing their thing. They weren't really shown otherwise than that, because I don't think those animatronics ever got possessed or anything. They just kind of existed during their timeline. And yeah, Zachary made some cool assets around here too, like the, what do you call these? The railings around the stage, because that's what they had at our old Chuck E. Cheese. Then we have these spotlights up here, which shine onto the stage. I could actually show that because we have Eevee that renders in real time. This is our first video that we actually used Eevee, and it's so good. It renders frames super fast, and it's actually really easy to set up, so I recommend trying out Eevee if you haven't. It's a little experimental though, so don't try animating in it. I'd recommend animating in an older version and then using Eevee for rendering. So that's what we did. This room over here leads to the downstairs where the kids are lured in and killed eventually. I don't think there's anything in here. Yeah, there's not anything in here yet. It's only in the later scenes. Speaking of later scenes, I'm going to open those now and move on to the next scene. Give it a while to load. Okay, here's scene 2. Let's look at it. Huh. Okay, there's no audio in it for some reason, but let's watch it anyway. So purple guy walks up to them and he tries to lure them into the back room, which he succeeds, unfortunately. So for this scene, yeah, I saw some complaints that people were saying, how did they get lured into that room? He's only wearing the head. But we just decided to do it that way, so you could easily see that it was purple guy under the suit, because if you didn't see his purple clothes, you might not actually know if it was purple guy or not. So we tried to simplify it a little bit. Yeah, that mask was made by Zachary. It's not the same as Bonnie over here, but he made a separate mask that he could actually wear, and it has this little snout right here and an opening for his mouth. And then the kids are just talking over here. And, oh yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff outside the camera view. Yeah, like over here, he just kind of stops walking and his legs are just floating, but you can't see that from the camera, so no use in animating it if it's not going to be seen. Unless you can see the shadows, of course. Oh, and I kind of forgot to mention that we made this cool little poster over here that we put on the wall. It was fun to make the posters in the Foxy song as well. We had a few posters on the wall. So, what else do I say about this scene? Yeah, oh, I forgot. There's a little Easter egg outside with the street sign that says Joshua. No one's gonna get that except for a few select people watching this, which is like 10 people. And the 10 people are the other Five Nights at Freddy's Minecraft animators. So, just thought I'd point it out. So, I think that's all for this scene. Yeah, they just walk over here and then they go into the door. Oh yeah, it looks like they're in a straight line, but they're actually not. It's kind of going off to the side here. So let's open up the next scene and take a look at what happens then. Okay, oddly enough, this is actually the very last scene to be animated for some reason, scene 3. I don't actually know why, but this is the very last scene we did. And this is the one where they walk down the stairs and go into the bottom room where they get, you know, ended. But, oh, one thing you might not notice here is, purple guy, when he walks through this hallway, his ears just clip through the roof because, he's not tall enough to go in there, actually. So, we just had him start in, so you wouldn't see his ears going through the roof. So, yeah. I actually had kind of trouble, with this part, because showing characters walking down stairs in Minecraft is actually really difficult to animate, because the stairs are so huge, and Minecraft characters' legs are really small. So, what I did to kind of cheat this is, for purple guy, I had him start on the last step, so you wouldn't actually have to see him step down, and he just starts walking over there. And for the kid, I just had him jump down the stairs and kind of wobble instead of actually walking, because there's no way to make that look good. Or I guess there is, but they're so small that it's kind of hard to make it look natural. And for the girl behind her, the girl behind him, I made her start over here and walk all the way to the edge, and she doesn't actually take a step off the stairs. So it ends right before the scene switches. And for the kid behind her, he's not even doing the right thing. He's just floating through the stairs like this. You can't actually see it though. It's covered up by the wall. He only shows for a couple frames, but it's a good way to cover everything up so I didn't actually have to animate them walking down the stairs. And then, oh yeah, I saw people asking about this. Some people said they thought they saw Ennard underneath the table, and this is actually a robot model that Zachary made a long time ago, probably like over half a year ago. We doubled it as a animatronic endoskeleton because this was actually a robot that was gonna be a bad guy in a different animation, but we never ended up making that, so we just put him under the table and pretended like he was a endoskeleton. I had his eyes glowing red just to make people ask what was going on and who that was. Oh yeah, and since it's the parts and service room, we have like some papers over here and a wrench and of course his knife. We have a crowbar and a security camera that has yet to be installed. And we have this gun, which he doesn't use, but this gun is the same one that the police are holding. And then we have shelves over here that are mostly empty, other than a couple TVs. Oh, and some breaker boxes that Zachary modeled. And yeah, other than that, just a few wires and other TVs. Probably should have made a little more assets for this set, but it didn't really matter that much. It turned out good anyways. So yeah, they walk in here, and then he locks the door. The door, I was supposed to model it with a handle, or not a handle, a knob with a lock on it, so I could show him locking it. But I forgot to do that, and I just made it a handle. So to make it look like he was locking it, I just kind of made it look like a harsh shut. So he actually, you know, makes it look like he actually jammed the door or something. So yeah, his head's actually backwards for this part, if you can't see that. Looks really awkward from the outside. But yeah, that's that scene. So I guess I'll open scene 4 and see what else there is. This was also one of the later scenes to get animated. One of the last scenes, because this is one of the biggest scenes as well. It's the part where they get killed. And I saw, or I'll talk about that in a second actually. Let's just watch this first. So the reason, if you hadn't noticed, that all the rest of the kids here are gone is I actually was I was trying to make it look like this was getting later in the night and everyone had left besides them. But I don't know, some people might say, oh, it's an animation sin, they're not there, but it was intentional, as much as it sounds like it wasn't. And yeah, we still have the animatronics over here, I guess just performing for them, and the the guy over here, yeah, he looked pretty bored with his job at the beginning. And let's actually take a look into the kitchen real quick, because I didn't really get to show this. The menu here was made by Zachary. There's shows a little pizza here, where you can order different types of pizza, and there's a salad option for those who don't want to get greasy fat off the pizza. And, oh, these pizza boxes were actually reused from the Aphmau animation that we made a while back, where she comes into the room delivering pizzas. And these papers were actually reused from Pigman Dan on his clipboard. And this phone has been here for ages. We've had a ton of animations that use this phone. This is probably like over a year old by this point. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this penguin has been on every shelf that we have ever put in a video. I think there's always a penguin on the shelf. Not gonna say why, but it's just a little Easter egg you can look out for. And then this grill over here, which didn't actually get much love in the video, didn't get shown off much, but I'm proud of how it turned out. I actually modeled an inside, even though it didn't get used or shown. There's a let me open it up. There's like the little bars here and the cold charcoal under it. And yeah, I actually like this model. I wish I could have got to shown it off more. Yeah, let's continue watching. So they realize the kids are gone. Which is a little bad parenting on their part, because they've been gone for a little bit. I don't know why they tried to find them earlier. Oh, and then the brutal scene. Every kid gets axed off. Some people I actually noticed were actually disappointed that there wasn't blood. We were going to add blood at first, but then I decided not to because the scene was already kind of brutal enough with showing a stabbing through the chest and the slashing. So I decided to add a red tint every time one of them got hit. So I thought that displayed it pretty well, but some people were still like, oh, you should have added blood. That would have been more intense, but I don't know. I chose to opt out of the bloody scenario. So let's keep watching. It's painful how the mom had to watch all this though. Must have been horrifying. And then he's gone. Oh, the reason his arm is so stretched here is we actually use this knife as a transition into the next scene. Actually should probably show you what the scene looks like outside of the camera, because it looks so goofy. Everything's teleporting everywhere, everyone's floating. Here, let me show it outside the camera view. Oh, there he is. He's already in the wall. Let me play this so you guys can see. Start from right here. So they start floating into place. Purple guy's just in the wall. Keep moving everywhere. And yeah, he didn't actually stab him with himself. His arm was torn off for that part. And then there's no purple guy. They're just kind of teleporting everywhere. And then the kid disappears at the end. And I actually kind of want to show off these smear frames because they're really funny. When he slashes the first kid, his arm gets super long. And you can't actually notice too bad from the camera view because it looks kind of natural. But yeah, when he slashes him, his arm gets huge both times. Look at this. That knife is so flat and so big. But yeah, it's actually worse at the end. But then this kid gets stabbed, but the arm is just off because purple guy's head would have been in the camera, which is a no-go. So I had this kid. They're actually getting stabbed to the beat, which is neat. They're still dying though, so that's not neat, but you know what I mean. So you still see him over here, just dead. But yeah, the last one to die was the Foxy kid, but the girl actually attempts to protect him to try and have him live, and then he runs away, which was I guess kind of a jerk move, but they're kids, so they wouldn't have known any better. So yeah, she's like, oh, why are you running away? Then he runs away, and then she gets axed off. It doesn't show it though, because I felt like having 3 deaths shown would be kind of repetitive at that point, and I think it still worked actually. So then it shows a kid right in the corner of the room where he gets cornered, and then he walks up to him and pulls out his knife, and then his arm yeah, his arm reaches over a little bit to he's on the other side of the room. How else is he supposed to reach him? But yeah, his arm extends a ton because I don't know, animation cheats. What are you gonna do? You don't really notice. But we use that as a transition to get into the next scene, which is the police car scene. Let me open that up. Oh no, Evie, don't crash on me. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is the police car scene. This is one of the earlier scenes to get animated because I really wanted to do this scene badly. I actually took inspiration for this shot showing under the car. I actually got that from the beginning of Cars, when it shows Lightning McQueen on the racetrack when he's having his little talk to himself in the trailer, and it shows the rest of the cars in front of him. So I just kind of took inspiration from that. But yeah, the set's actually not too big. The pizzeria is right over here. They just have to drive down this street. They enter from the void abyss because there's nothing back here. But yeah, the police cars are making their way over to the pizzeria, which is right over there. And we were gonna actually have Smoke coming out of these factory towers. But once we switched to Eevee, we had a smoke simulation done, but it wasn't showing up in Eevee, so we had to kind of let it go. It was dark anyway, so I guess it didn't show as prominently, even if it was there. So yeah, and then we had the cars sliding in to Freddy's, which I will admit I did take inspiration from that one scene Enchanted Mob had in what's it called? The first video in his trilogy. Do You Even, when the police cars slide in at the end and the police cars rush into the policemen rush into the building, not the cars. That would have been a different ending. But yeah, then the police people enter, which I actually noticed in a couple reaction videos that I saw that there were people who did realize the Easter egg that yes, these are the 3 cops that we've used in our other shorts in the past. Like these 2 cops, that voice crack, boo. These 2 cops were in the animation Hands Up that we did like, what, a year or 2 ago? I don't even remember how long it was at that point. But I had to remake them because I accidentally deleted them because I'm stupid. So I had to, they're a little bit different, but their faces are still the same. These are the 2 cops from Hands Up. And this is the girl cop from what's it called? The 911 animation where everyone kept prank calling. And yeah, this is the same. This is even the same rig. It's the older Zamination rig before our rig even came out. More people probably recognize her because that video is a little more popular than these ones, but still, it's cool to have them in. And it didn't distract either, so it was cool to just add them in. Yeah, and the mom's crying because kids are dead and they had to call 911, but they were too late. So, I think the animatronics are deactivated in the background at this point. Are they? I mean, shit. Oh yeah, in the background they're deactivated. Looks like they're just really sad that the kids died, but no, they're just deactivated. So let's look at the next scene, which is the scene where they actually get stuff. Okay, here. This scene is the wrong scene. Okay, that was just the fade scene we used where it said 4 years later. And I just had to make a separate file for that so I could have it fade in properly. That actually was kind of a pain to make because I had to copy paste each rig in there and copy their exact pose so that the fade would look okay. But it ended up making their heads grow because the Wizards' heads are actually bigger than their heads. But still, I think it worked pretty good. So let's take a look at this scene. Poor kids. Purple guy runs off. They run back into the room. And the reason I saw some people say like, why aren't they helping them? But from their view, they don't actually see them inside. They just think they're animatronics that are in the repair room, just kind of there. So they walked off because they were looking around to see if there was any bodies or anything, but they couldn't end up finding them. And yeah, they kind of just walk into the walls because there's not a lot of space here. He actually walks right into this other guy. Their faces, they look like conjoined twins. Yeah, this is a sight. And yeah, she just kind of walks and her legs stop moving once she walks out of the frame. But, huh? Okay, I actually didn't notice this. What? Okay, I guess a Freddy head got put on top of the animatronic head that I put here. Don't know why. He has a golden hat too. It's a new character. So yeah, actually at the beginning, their heads are all just up here, kind of hanging out, and they all just fall on. But it's supposed to, you know, it's supposed to represent that he's putting them on, but they all just kind of fall onto their heads. And then, actually, I think this was conveyed well, but when he looks up at the roof, he was supposed to be hearing the cops coming down. So he was like, oh no, the cops, I gotta run. So he turns around, runs out the door, looks kind of awkward because his, oh wait, no, I did animate his legs the whole time. Guess I put too much detail. But yeah, some people were asking, oh, how did he get out and the cops don't run into him in the doorway? But it was supposed to imply, it didn't really show well though, that he ran out and the cops actually, they came from upstairs, but we were supposed to have it, like, he used a secret entrance to get out in a different area that they just ran past because they didn't know it was there. But, so that's why he didn't get caught at that moment. So, let's actually watch this scene from outside. Probably a few... Oh, hello, heads. Just gonna... No idea why you're there, but... Let's just watch this scene from the outside, see if there's anything funny. Oh yeah, I only animated 2 of them running in, because it didn't show the 3rd guy in the camera view, so... What's the use in animating extra running? Because running takes a long time to animate. And then they just kind of walk off, and his head creepily doesn't move. And yeah, but I actually thought I improved in my my run cycles a little bit for this video. I'm still not super confident in my run cycles, but I'm glad I'm getting a little more comfortable with them. So let's look at scene 7 when the animatronics actually wake up. Alright, let's take a look at this. I'm just gonna start a little bit back because that's where it starts. Oh, ignore that camera. Yeah, they woke up, and this scene I actually animated in a live stream like 3 months ago. This was the only scene that was shown being animated. And we didn't reveal that Foxy was there because we didn't want to show that in the stream, or that would have been a little bit of a spoiler. And I actually had a kind of a hard time trying to think of what these animatronics would walk like, because for the Foxy song, the toy animatronics and Foxy, they actually moved smoothly and they moved like kind of normal characters. But since these are the withered animatronics, I wanted them to be a little more jittery and janky, like old robots. So if you notice when they walk, they're all kind of bouncy and mechanical. And I didn't know how to do that, so what I actually did is I referenced the walk cycle for Bastion from the Overwatch short that was made kind of a while ago. So I just referenced, you could see that in the live stream, I'll probably put that in the description actually, where I referenced the Bastion walk cycle and made walk cycles for these guys, put it on Freddy and Chica and Bonnie. And this is the exact same set from the Foxy song. I don't think there's any updates. And let's look at scene 8, which was actually animated partly by Mangarang. I will put him in the description. So yes, this is the scene where they find Foxy's dead corpse, or dead animatronic corpse. Let's take a look at it. Then they find the toy animatronics. Freddy sees what happens and he wants to get revenge. Actually, these red eyes, they were never added in until actually, like, what, a few days before the upload, actually, because I thought it would look a little awkward, because they were just kind of staring normally, and it was like, okay, stop looking at me. But then Zachary told me, oh, no, I wanted their eyes to glow red. And I was like, oh, whew, that saved it. That made it look a little more intense. And poor Bonnie over here, his eyes are already red, so he just turns around and looks. And yeah, the animatronics back here are still sad because they had to watch Foxy die. So actually, this isn't the same scene. I had to just repose Foxy and tried to make him in the exact same pose that he was in after he died in the Foxy song. And this is the same rig, it's not updated because he literally never moves, except for when he lifts his arm up. He lifts up Foxy's arm to, like, just to kind of show that he's inactive, he's not moving anymore. The soul's already left him, so he's just a rotting robot there. And this video doesn't show where exactly his soul went off to, but could be revealed in a later date, possibly. And then, of course, they run into the animatronics from the end of the last one, who give them the knife that Purple Guy stabbed him with, because the way they got it is because Purple Guy stabbed... Okay, hello, Foxy. Sorry, you're getting stabbed again by the curtain. Poor Foxy. But, they pulled the knife out of him, after he was stabbed to try and save him. So they still had the knife, and then they showed it to the Wizards, and they remember how he got killed earlier in the video. And it's just a little flashback right here. And then he wants to get revenge on Purple Guy for killing them. So what they do next is, let's look at scene 9. Don't crash on me. Okay, there we go. Let's take a look at the scene first. Oh yeah, there's no audio here, but oh yeah, this is the trailer. This is the trailer scene that we uploaded onto the channel a month before the upload. This is actually the first scene where I tested Eevee. Oh no, this is the second scene where I tested Eevee. But this scene actually hit the maximum light limit. So I was frustrated because I kept adding lights and they wouldn't shine at all, and I was wondering why that was. But I ended up finding out there's actually a light limit, because there's a light inside every single building, multiple lights in every building. So yeah, it ended up taking a lot of the render power. This is by far the longest scene to render. It took pretty long even for Eevee because it had like a million lights and soft shadows and volumetrics and stuff. But it ended up looking cool. We actually we made a lot of changes from the trailer to this, because there were some things wrong with the trailer that we ended up fixing. Like there was no depth of field, there was no there was a couple things in compositing that weren't done yet, and the car had no glass. There was some AO piercing in the background, which we ended up fixing at the end. And yeah, then the car drives off. I actually really liked doing these shots because animating cars is kind of fun. And the lights on the car make for cool lighting possibilities. And oh yeah, this is the map that actually Team Visionary built specifically for this video. And it's still, if you look in the Follow Me upload, in the description, there's a download to this map if you want to play on it. If you want to get it on the Minecraft Marketplace, which a lot of people have already played on it. I've heard a lot of people have already bought the map and have been playing on it, so that's really cool. I've actually took a tour around this map, and it is huge. This is just a small portion of the map. It's gigantic. It's like a million of these. It's like a huge city, and each single building has actual areas inside that you can go in. And I actually recommend downloading and buying the map because it is so fun. It actually has a remade version of the pizzeria here, if you can actually find it. I guess that's a little quest for you. If you buy the map, you can try to find the pizzeria in this area in the video, because a few people have already actually found it. So yeah, in this scene is where the animatronics come out and they try to stop the car. This is the part, on all the reactions I've seen so far, this is the part where everyone's like, whoa, that would be so scary. And it's just so cool to see that this got a reaction out of people. Though I did notice that some people did pick up on the fact that they actually rise out of the ground. They all just kind of appear there because, well, the problem was it shows the car driving down the street, and we couldn't hide them here because if we had them standing here, you'd straight up see him. You'd just see them standing there while he was driving off, and it would ruin the effect of the actual reveal. And if we had them hiding more behind, then they wouldn't be in front of the car on this part. They'd be like way over there. So what I did is I actually hid them perfectly under the steering wheel and behind Purple Guy's head, so you do not see them coming out of the ground. They all reveal themselves right popping out behind the steering wheel, so you don't actually see them clipping out of the ground or anything. That took a while to try to do, but ended up paying off. So let's look at the next scene where they attack the car. Okay, here's the scene where they stop the car. Let's take a look at it. Oh, whoops. Okay. The glass is all cracked for this part because I had to re-render a pass with the glass broken. Okay, so there's a few things to talk about in this scene. Oh, there's two purple guys, by the way. They're twins. But yeah, they stop the car in his tracks, and the car actually the car actually flies up really high, and the doors open as well, so it goes like boom, and it falls back down. And Purple Guy's not animated inside because you don't see him, but there was actually some weird stretching and very exaggerated movements on Freddy's part, because it was the high impact, so it got his shoulders pushed back kind of far. But yeah, they eventually stop the car, and here, let me hide this glass because it's a little distracting. There we go. So Purple Guy is like, ooh. He looks around, and the animatronics are trying to get in the car, but what you don't see from the outside is it's actually yeah Bonnie's suddenly an Enderman, and his legs are super long, and Chica's just ahead. She used her floating head that she has in the game. Wait, what do you mean that's not in the game? Yeah, I'm just joking. We took her head off just because, yeah, I don't know, there was no need to animate the body, so we just disconnected the head. And Freddy climbed on top of the car, and of course, he punches out the glass, which isn't in this scene, it's in a separate scene, because the glass simulation was easily the most frustrating part of this whole video, because we had so many iterations and different render problems and material issues, so yeah, that took a lot of fixing, but we finally got it to look good. And he smashes the glass, and then he gets scared, he doesn't know how to get out, so yeah, for this top scene, I had them shaking the car a bunch. I don't know if it was really noticeable, but they were trying to shake the car to startle him and try to get him to come out. But and then he sees the open sign that reminds him that he can go back into the pizzeria and find the safe room. But he doesn't remember the Springtrap suit is there yet, and he wants to go into the safe room so the animatronics won't find him. But yeah, over here, that's why his expression's like, he's like, ooh, I need to get in there. Because some people were asking, oh, why did you just run back into the pizzeria? Why did you just run into the city? But he wanted to be in the safe room because it would have been blocked off. I guess he had to chop into there, but he was gonna hide in the safe room. So yeah, he kicks the car door open, and he pushes Freddy over, and Freddy kind of gets mad, and he looks over back at him, and he's like, "Ah, what the heck? Why'd you hit me in the head with the door?" But yeah, he gets hit. He starts running back into the pizzeria, and then let's look at the next scene, because that's actually the first scene animated in, or the scene rendered in Eevee. This is when we were testing it, like 3 months ago. So here is that scene. This is easily the longest scene that we have ever animated in a video before. This one scene is an entire minute long. It's the longest scene we've ever had to do. So let's just play it. So he runs in. There's no audio, fortunately. Unfortunately. But he runs in here, finds a safe room, and I made sure the safe room was really black so you wouldn't see what's in there until the light actually shined through. So he takes the axe, and he chops the wood, which I had to animate every single piece of wood by hand, which took a pretty long time. All these little pieces of wood bouncing all over the place. I had to animate those all by hand, which I think it turned out pretty good, but yeah, and it was worth it because it looked I didn't have the problems of dealing with simulations, and I could do it by hand, and it went smoother, but it did take a little long. So then he finds out the Springtrap suit is in there, just kind of sitting there, empty. So he oh, actually, I need to talk about this lighting for a second, because this lighting is awesome. Our friend Isaacs from 3A Display actually gave us the idea to use the arcade machine to light up this whole room, because we had no clue how we were gonna light this room to be different than every other place, because I was scared that this room was gonna look just like every other place in the Foxy song, and that it wouldn't look unique. So we didn't have any light sources either, because the safe room doesn't have light sources. So Isaac said, hey, why don't you make the arcade machine glow and light up the room? And we thought that was such a good idea, so we used it in the video, and that's why he's credited under special thanks at the end of the video for giving that idea for the lighting. And I can actually watch this just in rendered mode, because Eevee is cool. So, yeah, the animatronics find him, and they're like, whoa. They find out he's gone in the Springtrap suit, and he stands up. And I actually really like this because you can't see his face at first, which looks so cool behind this, behind the glowing arcade machine. You know it's Springtrap, but they can't see his face, so they're not sure what it is. And the cool thing about Eevee, actually, which is a detriment at times, but actually also good, is you can have completely black shadows that don't show anything. So you literally can't see his face at all, even if you brighten it up, which helps for this scene a lot. So, oh, another Easter egg is this arcade machine is gigantic for this part. I just had it scale up for the, for that scene, because his head wouldn't fit in front of the light. So I had to scale up the arcade machine a ton. But you don't really realize it unless, well, unless you look at the arcade machines over here. But those are kind of hidden, so let's keep watching. You can watch it rendered in real time. So yeah, then the lights gradually turn on more. It's kind of gradual, so you don't see how the lights kind of just appear. But then he runs at Freddy and gives him a punch, which is actually a a reference to Enchanted Mob's animation, where the puppet song, where Springtrap runs up to the toy animatronics and throws a punch with this. It's pretty much the same animation almost. So I thought I'd reference that. It's kind of like an homage, I guess. And then they don't seem to be helping Freddy actually, but Freddy seems like he's got it until of course he gets punched, which hurts, but he's a robot. He's probably not gonna feel pain anyway. So then all that activity with him running and punching him actually is what caused the spring locks to become loose, because apparently even breathing on the spring locks is enough to get them loose and wet so that they start unscrewing. So I had to think about this scene, what it was gonna look like. So what we actually did is we went outside the map and made a little box here with Springtrap's texture on it, and we put his body inside, surrounded by the animatronic parts that are being held by the spring locks. So it's not actually in his body. When it zooms in, it goes till outside the map, and it shows inside here. And I had to model this. It doesn't ever show what the inside looks like in game, so I had to kind of make up what I thought it would look like. So I had these kind of rib cage looking things that grab into him, and then you could see these little hand cranks. I had to listen to the train guy actually helped me out with this. He was showing me the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 voice tapes that talked about the Springlock suits and how they were operated and such. And there is apparently these hand cranks that you use to wind the spring locks that move all the animatronic parts out of the way, so you don't get, you know, shredded by parts. And we show these hand cranks start to jitter and come loose. And then we show these what are they called? These screws. They pop out, and once they pop out, the painful part happens. The rib cage metal parts crush his body. You can even see the... Here, let me take the body out, actually, so you can see how crushed his body gets by those. It's like a sponge. His body gets just crushed by these things. And yeah, a lot of people went like, ooh, like in pain because of this part, because we try to capture how painful this would have actually been. So he starts screaming in pain, and then easily the most painful part of this video comes right here, where the eyeballs come down and pierce into his eye sockets and crush his eyeballs. Even I can't say that without thinking of the pain. But yeah, for this part we actually made a separate. Oh, let me go back into the safe room. Oh yeah, this safe room, by the way, it wasn't actually in the Foxy song. It was part of this back room that you could probably see in a few shots of the Foxy song. But the safe room I just added in later because we didn't need it for that other video, so yeah, I just added it, and I made it purple because that's what it's like in the actual game. And what else? Oh yeah, what I was trying to say. Oh, hi Freddy, I didn't realize you were still down there. We made a separate head for Springtrap, and we had the eyes come down on this separate head and pierce into the non-existent eyes right here. So then we immediately transitioned into the eyes coming down again, which kind of flowed pretty smooth. And yeah, this is where the screws pound into his eyeballs and destroy them. Wow, that's brutal. I didn't even realize how brutal that is until now. But yeah, the eyeballs go into him, he starts screaming in pain, and then he falls over, and I think this is one of the coolest shots in the video, right here, where the light's coming down, and he starts crawling toward the exit to... He's not giving up, he's trying to get them, so he even, in his last dying breaths, is walking, or crawling. He's crawling over to them, trying to get them. And this crawling animation, I actually recorded a reference for in real life. This is the only time I did that for the video. It was a little embarrassing, I'm not gonna show it. But I had Zachary get out his camera, and I just crawled across the floor and referenced myself crawling, and just did that for Springtrap. And yeah, then Springtrap reaches up, and then boom, and he's dead. And then I actually didn't have to set up lighting for this last part, because the lights that were already there actually just blended perfectly, so it looked really good, so I just kept it there. And oh yeah, over here the camera's actually clipping through the wall. It's going like this. You can see both sides of the wall, but I tracked the clipping distance of the camera so that you would barely see that it's moving over here, but if you look closely, you can see that the edge is kind of going up a little bit, but I tried to hide it mostly. So yeah, that's the final scene. And then, I don't know who noticed, but at the end, the very, very, very end of the video, even after the credits, when it's slowly fading to black, Springtrap's eyes, like right here in this pose, his eyes start glowing at the very end, which could allude to something. You never know. He's still alive. He could come back. He always comes back. I think that's his line in, well, not line, he doesn't talk, but that's what it says in FNAF 3. He always comes back. So yeah, Springtrap's still out there. He could possibly come back, you never know. So what else could I show? That's the final scene of the video, but I'll actually show the car that Train Guy made, because I am pretty satisfied with how that turned out. It was an awesome looking car. Yes, here it is. This is the car that Train Guy made, which turned out beautifully. The textures are all done by Train Guy, the model's done by Train Guy, and everything looks really good. Even on the inside, he made it so that the seats fit perfectly with Minecraft characters if you have them sit down in the seats, which is actually kind of tough to do sometimes. There's even pedals at the bottom, and a steering wheel and a dashboard. It's like so crazy detailed. but it ended up being worth it because the car was in pretty good chunk of the video, so it ended up working great. So thank you, Train Guy, for making the car. I'll probably show off some of the rigs too. So let me open up. Who should I show? I could show the Wizards because Zachary made those. Oh, funny. What are you doing, buddy? Where is your head? Let me try to turn it back on. There it is. Okay, so here is Withered Bonnie, which Zachary modeled the head, and the rest of it. Actually, he just modeled all of it, but the head was a completely original model. It wasn't using the Zamination rig. He had to make a completely different model and parent it to the head control. And for the arm, we actually just cut it right here, and then made a separate armature, which controls these the wires coming out of his arm. And we have the glowing eyes here. I don't have them glowing in the actual in the rig file, but in the video they're glowing. And then he has his ears, which you can animate. And Bonnie's probably one of the coolest looking animatronics in this. I'd say Chica's my favorite though, because Chica has so much detail. I'm gonna show Freddy next. So, hi. Okay. Freddy's head is gone. Looks creepy though. Let me unhide that. There we go. Here's Freddy, another original head that Zachary made, and he parented it to the head mesh, or the head control. And he can actually open and close his jaw pretty wide actually. Never goes that wide in the video though. And then we used a withered Freddy skin, and we just extruded some imperfections, like some little holes and stuff. And then he has his ears that you can move. And he's probably the least interesting out of the three Wizards. But let's move on to Chica. She is cool. And headless. Okay, let me add her head back. Don't know why that's not there. Okay, here. Yeah, so for these wires, again, we had a separate armature that we just rigged up these little wires to come out of. And I don't know if anyone's actually pointed this out yet, but I know in the actual game, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Chica is in like a T-pose like this the entire time. But throughout the video, we actually had her arms down because we thought having her arms up would be way too distracting and people would make so many T-pose jokes. So the only time she's actually T-posed is in the thumbnail of the video, and you can't even tell because it doesn't show her entire arm. But yeah, this looks so cool because it can also go up and down like that. It has these little wires and all the detailed teeth inside and the animatronic stuff inside her head. And then we have these little feathers on top, which are also rigged to move. So yeah, that's Withered Chica. Let me see if there's anything else I could show off. Oh, I could show off Springtrap. Springtrap is really cool. So Springtrap, he has mip maps on for some reason. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah, okay, so Springtrap was actually kind of a collaborative effort. Train Guy actually was the one who made the ears and the mask, and he made the texture as well for Springtrap. But the only parts I did was I put Afton inside, and I modeled all of the body, which is actually pretty hard because I had to do some extruding things down here that messed with the edges, so I had to learn a few things to avoid those errors. But there's a lot of holes and stuff inside him, and then of course the robot parts connecting his arms. But it ended up looking really cool, and a lot of people seem to like Springtrap and his design. So thanks again, Train Guy, for helping us with the Springtrap model. So let me open anything else to have a look at. So I could show the kids really quick actually. So of course we have a big fat thing. Okay, I don't know why his head is so fat, and I don't know why everything's black right now, but let me turn off the overlayers. That's probably what it is. Yes, there we go. There we go. Okay, let me turn off his body as well. There we go. So this is the Foxy kid who was part of the Foxy song in the first one, and we actually just reused the rig here, but this time we gave them smooth mouths instead of square mouths because we've been doing that more lately, and I think we've been shifting toward that style for a while, and we're probably only going to continue to do square mouths for funny moments videos, but for the music videos we're only going to use smooth mouth from now on, I believe. And let's take a look at Bonnie Kid. So the Bonnie Kid does not have his glasses, apparently. Let me see if they're here. Okay, I guess his glasses aren't here. But Zachary made all these skins from scratch for each kid and tried to give them a little personality and flair. But he's purple. His shirt is purple because he ends up going into Bonnie when he possesses his animatronic. And let's take a look at the Freddy Kid. And the Freddy Kid is brown because he goes inside Freddy when he possesses him. And ooh, I didn't notice this. I don't even know if this showed up in the video, but his belt isn't straight. Huh. Well, hopefully that wasn't too obvious. But let's take a look at the Chica girl. So yeah, this was, oh, her front hair piece is missing, but I guess that's not too needed. But so yeah, her thing is yellow and her shoes are actually orange, like Chica's feet are orange on the animatronic. So it's kind of a cool thing that he added. And his eyes, oh, their eye colors also correspond to the animatronics they go into, I believe, because her eyes are green and Chica's eyes are green too. Yeah, there's a little rig here for the hair to move, which is always fun to animate because floppy hair, and Purple Guy's tie was all hand animated, so it was pretty fun to do that. So is there anything else? Oh, I can show the map that we used for the video. I'm gonna show that. Let me close Blender for a second and I'll meet you back in Minecraft. Alright, so we're here in Minecraft now on the map Curiosity that Team Visionary made that you can get on the marketplace. And this is actually where the pizzeria is in the map. I dare anyone who gets this map to try to find this area because this place is huge. But yeah, this is the recreation of the map that Team Visionary has inside of the actual city, and they even have an interior which we don't have in the video. So in the video we actually only have an outside view, but inside of here they actually made an entire interior to the pizzeria that actually we didn't have in the video, so that's a cool place to check out. And yeah, this is the parking lot where the one scene happened where he drove off and the animatronics got him. And it's convenient that there's a police station right over here where the cops come down to try and chase down Purple Guy for killing those kids. But yeah, it's perfectly convenient that a police station is right next to a place where a bunch of weird crimes happen. So good on the build team for noticing that. And my inventory is still filled with a bunch of scrap parts because there was a bunch of cars which they actually add a lot of life to the map, but I didn't want them to be in that shot because I wanted it to look like the place was empty in the actual animation. So I spent like 2 hours just walking around. I don't have world edit, so I just had to walk around and break every single car by hand. And yeah, that took a while. It was worth it though. But let's take a little tour around the map. Like I said, this map is available if you want to get it on the Minecraft Marketplace for Minecraft Bedrock. I'm on Minecraft Java right now because that's the version they sent to me. But on the Bedrock one, there's actually cars you can drive in the actual place. I saw Train Guy messing with it because he has the map, and he was actually driving cars around the city, and I wish I could do it, but I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna try driving around in the cars in the city. And they have buses and they have cool skins that come with it as well. And look, they got so detailed with this. They actually built a neighborhood over here too, with like, this could be where the kids live. I I just gave myself an idea there. Not gonna mention it though. They have a trampoline over here, tent. Every single place is built. This whole place was built just for Follow Me, and the map creators did such a good job. So shout out to Team Visionary for making the map. And I actually have not seen every edge of the map yet, but this place is gigantic. There's so many buildings and cities. I forget how to go fast, so I am flying very slow. But yeah, there's even exterior parts like the mountains, and there's a hospital. There's a ton of buildings. This is like a full-scale city that we are probably going to be using a lot. This city is, we only showed this area where the pizzeria was, but there are so many possibilities that we could show this city and it would be amazing looking. So yeah, you're probably going to see this in a lot of upcoming animations. Oh, they even have a Ferris wheel. And whoa. They have a bridge and a boat? There's a boat right next to Freddy's? Whoa. Wait, is this Freddy's? I thought this was... Okay, now I'm getting confused. I'm getting lost. This place is so big. Oh no, this isn't Freddy's. Shoot. Well, there's a boat over here. But I'm not going to go explore the whole map. If you want to check out the whole thing and go play on it with your friends and stuff on Minecraft Bedrock, you can... I'll leave a link in the description where you can go get the map for yourself, and you could... I don't know, you could try to find the pizzeria and run your own business inside there. But yeah, that's it for the map show-off, and that actually might be it for the behind the scenes. I know this was a little long, but for any of you who stuck out and listened to me talk for this long, good for you. I applaud you. Thank you. We've seen all the support that that Follow Me has been getting recently, and it's crazy. It's by far our fastest growing video we've ever had on our channel, and everyone seems to like it so far. So thank you all for just being with us on this whole journey while we create these animations for you guys. I'm glad that you all enjoy them, because I had a little doubt that this animation was going to be received well, because I'm not sure what I thought of it when it was finished, but after seeing all the feedback and the positive words, it just totally made me change my mind, and I love the animation to death now. And we're so grateful for all the support that you guys have been showing the video, our channel, and all the kind words you've been putting in the comments, and all the support for this map, because getting this map actually supports us and helps us create more videos as well. So, oh, and this video was the quickest we have ever made a music video before. It only took us a little over 3 months, which sounds long, but is actually pretty short for us, because the Foxy song took, it's almost embarrassing, the Foxy song took 11 months to create. That's almost an entire year. And the Doki Doki music video, why did I say Okie Dokie, took 6 months to make that, which is like half a year. Pigman Dan, or Pigman Rap, I always call it Pigman Dan, that's just what we call it. But Pigman Rap took around a half a year as well. And then this one only took 3 months, so hopefully, I promise you won't be waiting 1 year for follow-ups and music videos anymore. We're going to be making them a lot faster now, especially since Eevee renders frames at faster speeds. But I'm going to wrap up now. I've been rambling long enough, so thank you guys for watching the behind the scenes. I know we posted a reel earlier that was kind of a mini behind the scenes that showed the materials and the different assets that were showcased in the final render. So you can go check that out as well. I'll leave that in the description. But yeah, thank you for watching the in-depth behind the scenes of the I keep trying to call it the Foxy song too, but I need to start calling it Follow Me. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next behind the scenes for the next music video we do, because I want to make this a regular thing. So thank you for watching the behind the scenes, and I'll see you later. Take care.